watched on Twitch. It was so funny because that happened during what it was either during one of my exams or during when I was writing like my final report in like my last year of uni. And it was like I remember watching it. It was like so good that I wanted to watch it, but then I obviously couldn't watch all of it. I remember I actually went back and like watched the VOD for the last 2 hours to like watch the end of the story. It was really funny. This is maybe one of the best kind of like, when people do like when there's like these things on Twitch that are like there for a little while. This might be one of my favorite things that's ever been on Twitch that's like very different to the everyday sort of thing. Watch Twitch 12 hours a day, full-time student at home, always have it on a second monitor. Yeah, I like this is me as well now. Like I just always go to Twitch and watch something, like in the background usually, at least. It's like I always check to see what's going on. It's crazy. It's crazy. I feel like I use it more and more. Anyways, let's do this to the bottom right hand side from Clash. It's our Red Zerg player, Lambo. He was hyped up at Home Story Cup as one of the best players on the new patch. Unfortunately, he had an unexpected exit to mana there in that event in the round of 32. And he had an unexpected early exit from WSG as well. Unfortunately for him, he hasn't had the best start to a patch where he was really one of the most hyped players. Let's see the upper left-hand side, our blue Protoss from Cascade. Give it up if you're cheering on DnS. Twitch plays Pokemon. Okay, Twitch plays Pokemon was pretty awesome too. But this Old Spice one was like, okay, they literally put a guy in a forest, put a GoPro on his head, and made an overlay, and people in chat just said things, and they would pick things from chat to make him do. So like, people would say like, put a rock on your head or something. You put a rock on his head, or do like a forward roll, and you do a forward roll. And then like there was like characters as part of the story, and they were like, it was all real, like it was all actually happening. Like there's actors or whatever, and there's like a fairy that he met who he ended up getting married to or something. There's different areas as well. So like there was like a map basically that you uncovered over the weekend that it was played out. And there was like a home house, there was like a house, there was like a picnic table, there was a party, there was like a place to sleep. It was really kind of fun. You should check it out. If you'd Google, I just Googled it. If you Google like Old Spice Man in Forest, it sounds ridiculous, but some information about it comes up. It's yeah, this was really fun. I really thought they'd do it again because it was so good, but I don't know. Maybe they didn't see the return of investment. Maybe they couldn't find a guy that was willing to go and do whatever the hell Twitch chat told them to do in a forest for 3 days again. Also a possibility. That was pretty funny though. It was fun. Twitch plays Pokemon is pretty awesome as well, right? Twitch is crazy. It's yeah, crazy stuff. Anyways, StarCraft, and as you can see, it's going to be a couple of depths poking with this Oracle. That's a dead queen right there. I mean, Lambo just will not be able to save this, I don't think. The Oracle obviously just not getting targeted early enough, and now will help against the Lings. And so the Adepts getting quite a bit done here. Obviously now Chitin to try and keep on just doing a bit more. Oracle continue to pick up damage. Now this is already very nice from DnS. Just a small amount of bits and pieces here. As we are going to see those couple of Adepts getting picked off before one drone, a queen, and 9 Lings. I think you've got to be very happy with this. The Oracle is still very, very healthy as well. I was about to go for relatively, then I said very, so then I nearly said like relatively, or verilatively. Yeah, that was nearly interesting. As Lambo does throw down this lair, maybe a little bit delayed because of that harassment. It's a little bit later than you might expect. I mean, starting it around the 4-minute marker has been common. This was closer to kind of 4:20, 4:30. So a few seconds delay perhaps as you'll get ready to go into the lair, and probably for the Hydra's Den. We've been seeing a lot of fast lurker play here lately too, so that's why the Hydra Den's been putting down earlier and earlier. You bypass the early melee upgrade because you're not really looking to play a fast-ling Bane anymore. You bypass the Bane nest most of the time, you just go in towards, well, Hydra Den and lurkers. And that's kind of the playstyle of the moment for Zergs. It's really interesting. I really feel like the ZvP meta is something which is probably changing, probably changing a lot, I guess. Probably changing a lot, as you see these Phoenix coming in. A couple of Oracles grabbing themselves 5 workers. Nice combo there. I love it. Lifting the Queen with the Phoenix means this Oracle doesn't actually get picked off and can just stick around a little bit longer. Alright. Forge coming up in the back of the mineral line here. I'm just going to see this third Nexus dropping down to you. Shield battery will also be placed. 7 Hydras currently on the way up. I was just going to see this Phoenix try and grab an Overlord. Shouldn't actually happen right, but I guess the second Queen should have come in a bit sooner. Overlord goes down. Man, Lambo's not having a great game right here. I mean, now we're talking about being supply blocked. He's already lost kind of a few drones too many throughout the game. I mean, it's getting crazy. Another Overlord goes down. I mean, he's already building Overlords to get out of the supply block from before, but I mean, this is just getting more and more serious. It's now cutting back as these Archons grabbing some Lings. These Hydras aren't really in high enough numbers on their own to just fight this, and he's going to chase. Oh, he misses that pickup, though. First real mistake from DnS here in game number 1. Yeah, DnS has been playing this pretty well, just that really was one of his first mistakes of this. DnS has had a pretty good year as well. I was actually just looking at his Wikipedia the other day for some reason. I sort of decided, it'd be kind of cool to see what he's been up to this year and just to see how far he's come, because I was actually reading the Team Liquid Awards, and they have like a best kind of, what was it? One of the awards is like best newcomer, or kind of, yeah, best. I think it's like best newcomer, and they awarded it to Special, because their reasoning was like, hey, we don't see a lot of new faces in StarCraft 2, but Special is someone who this year really kind of, got into an entirely new level of play. I kind of like, I kind of like reading the awards and the awards, and obviously everyone has different opinions, but this one kind of triggered me because I thought, well, there is some players who really are kind of big up-and-comers. Like, just because a guy didn't, I think the fact that the up-and-comer award or whatever got awarded to someone that went to BlizzCon round of 4 kind of just completely missed the point of, in my eyes, what that kind of title should be. Do you see this Queen going down? Wow, no, saved. 1 HP. No way, that's insane. But just to kind of wrap this up, because I'm taking a while to say it, but yeah, for me, like, I was just thinking, like, well, who do I think is kind of really coming into the pro scene this year, and who could have taken it? I thought of actually, we've seen a lot of games from Denver today. I was like, well, Denver maybe. Yeah, Denver was someone who we saw kind of like really starting to win a lot more. Obviously, maybe not in massive tournaments, but in terms of just being a newcomer, that definitely is maybe someone who's more suited, who's really starting to break through. Then I was like, well, maybe DnS as well. And I was like, well, maybe DnS did stuff in 2016. So I was just looking at his Wikipedia page, but he has had a pretty good year. He had a round of 16 at one point. He'd had a couple round of 32s, and online he's had a lot of success as well. So it took a very long time to make this point, but basically I looked at his Wikipedia page, and DnS is definitely on the up and could be someone we see maybe making a round of 8 push in 2018, round of 8 or higher even. I really think he is one of these big up-and-comers, and with a good bracket, the right opponents, and he plays well in the day, he can definitely go the distance in any of these WCS events. So DnS, one to look out for moving forwards. Again, a successful year, a real kind of rising star, I suppose. It's almost like Petit Drogo back in the day. He also, it's kind of funny, like all these French players seem to have a very similar storyline for themselves. This is a big whoop in the Zealots right here. DnS going to go for this, but well, a lot of Lings come in, so the Zealots will just end up trading. Picks up a few and will drop them in the main. Hydras are chasing for the Prism, though. Prism will go down to the Spore. I mean, okay. Zealots get a couple of kills. Not the end of the world. But yeah, all the French Protoss players seem to have such a similar story, like from Lambo and onwards. Like, their PvZ is really good, and I remember Petit Drogo was the same. His PvZ is really good. One of his first breakthrough moments was when he beat Snoot in Challenger League. And I remember him just talking about it. He was like, well, it's because, like, I watch a lot of Lambo, and Lambo's very good at PvZ, so we just figured out this style, and that's what Drogo became very well known for at first. And, I kind of feel the same a lot of the time for DnS here. His PvZ has always been one of his very powerful matchups, and, they slowly rise, these French players, and suddenly they're doing very well at big offline tournaments. Some crazy stuff as we see a lot of units right now from Lambo spreading out and seeing where they can go. Few Lings coming through this top side. Some Zealots actually going to be coming around the right hand side as well, as Ling Hydra starting to poke its way through this Cybernetics core. It's actually dropping very quickly, as we do see Lings and Hydras picking off these Zealots to the right-hand side as well. Very nicely done here, as you're going to see the carrier jumping on top of these Hydras. A couple of interceptors starting to go down, and again, some nice damage being done so far. But not really enough for Lambo. He's throwing away units into some of these carriers, and I guess he wasn't maybe expecting carriers here with this little bit of a run by. I thought he was going to kill more than just 4 workers, but it's things like these which are just sort of hitting the nexus rather than actually hitting the mineral lines, which could have done so much more here. I mean, you take, what, 500 health off a nexus? Boom, that's 10 workers, man. You know, that's 10 workers. That's this entire mineral line, basically, that's going to go down very, very quickly. DnS just gathering his army. Mothership is overhead and obviously cloaking up a bunch of units here. DnS's supply in general very low, but I guess got to remember that he is a very heavily teched player at the moment. Not a lot of Zealots or anything in this. It's Archons, Immortals, TIE Templar, and Carriers. I wonder if it's still just a little bit too early to fight, though. You know, 3 more Carriers, and I'm starting to look at this a bit differently. There's Lambo. Lambo is going to be well, bringing his army into play as well. His Broodlords are up, but I mean, he needs something to fight Carriers right now, which a big part of this is going to be Neural Parasite. That upgrade coming through at the moment, but probably also still needs some Corruptors and so on as well. His DnS is still just getting rolling. This Hydra's coming through the center, just going to be, well, pulling back actually. This Phoenix coming up to the top side, as you see. Lambo just pushing through the center. We're just going to be seeing the army here in general from Lambo pushing around, seeing what it can do. There's a couple of carriers just getting themselves a few more interceptors. We're going to see these units going to now push up in towards the natural expansion. Interceptors starting to come on down, and we're just going to be seeing, well, that Cyber Core going down here. I mean, it cancels an upgrade, the +1 armor. But man, now those carriers coming in, those Hydras are going to start getting massacred. Look at this, they're just disappearing. Hydras getting picked off so quickly. Again, the Lings are broken through, and so that does allow them to get damage done. 15 workers killed already. I'm just going to see, oh my god, these Zerglings are ripping their way through this Nexus. Wow, Adrenal Glands is pretty good, man. Like, Adrenal Glands Zerglings kill so much so quickly. Like, I really do wonder sometimes how this unit can be so good when it costs like 50 minerals. Things are pretty insane, as we're going to be seeing. Well, a bit of miscontrol here by DnS. Some High Templar just wandering forwards and not really doing perhaps what they should be. It's a lot of carriers to fight against for Lambo. DnS not even maxed out here, and that's how confident he is with this army. And that's what's so scary for Lambo as well. Imagine DnS actually maxes out. Then imagine how confident he's going to be moving around the map and looking for fights. Maybe he shouldn't be being this confident. I mean, a couple of neural parasites and this could change very quickly, very easily. Removing that ability to cast Burrow while fungal while Burrow is going to definitely help you. Though, as we see Infested Terrans coming down. You're going to see Infested dropping a couple of fungals so far. Actually, no neurals coming down just yet. Maybe he wants to try and grab 1 or 2 of those now. We're just going to see a recall away from this. Doesn't lose anything recalling. So that turns out to be kind of okay. This gold base got denied in the push. Some good damage being dealt. +3 melee, +3 missiles, both on the way up here now from Lambo. 10 more Hydras are on the way out. And these Zerglings are going to run through the center, and, well, they're going to position themselves up top to see where they can go. Another Hydra coming in as well. So our semi-finals of GO4SC2, guys. Map number 1 of this best of 3. You're going to see those Lings running forwards and a couple of pylons will get picked away at. They are going to be able to get rid of this pylon here, and now we'll gain access to pick off this probe as well. As interceptors come in, a Hydra goes down, and a couple more Zerglings here and there just getting picked off. But still another 6 workers, and slowing down the eco of the Protoss and just keeping him busy, keeping him from just focusing on, hey, I can move across the map and do an insane amount of damage with an attack. Because if he gets the chance to do that, Lambo might really find himself in trouble. He wants to be slowing him down more. The more damage the Protoss takes before he maxes up, the better it's going to be for Lambo. The more time he has to build up a bank as well himself. So far, his bank is pretty drained as he maxes out on what is a very expensive army composition. I mean, from both sides, It's very rare. You see over 7k mineral and pretty much 6k gas army from each player here. And as we do see, also movement of Hydras. A lot of changes from Lambo. Obviously just going to be trying to keep track of armies moving around the map. Maybe one or two of these. I mean, he's just moving changes all over. Why not keep on the scout information, see what's maybe being made next. Is he still making carriers? Has he moved into some different sort of tech or something? I mean, there's not usually, you know, a different kind of tech route you go. As you can see, those changes getting picked off. There's not usually a different tech route you go after going for the carriers, obviously. But just little things like, you know, maybe suddenly making void rays or something, and that means you want to change up exactly what you're building. In this scenario, I don't think it's too important. He just wants champions just to keep track of maybe where the army is as well, to see if what units are around is also a possibility. See where it might be a good position to attack into. A lone fungal growth lands onto a high temple. There goes the first neural parasites on some Archons. Storms are dropping down, especially on those infested terrors. They are not going to get a chance to actually come up here. The mothership is actually neural parasite. It gets dragged in towards this army of the Zerg. As we're going to be seeing carriers are fighting carriers, but not for too much longer. Archon's still fighting here as well on the ground, as there's another neural parasite in the back. I have to say, these infestors, some of them are getting very low on energy. Targets a few down now with these carriers, and those are expensive losses, but the interceptor count is disappearing. There's about 4 interceptors left on the map. Now 12 as a round of them finish up in production, but this could have been so much worse as Lambo will still gather himself up here. There's another fungal. You're going to see 1 carrier, 2 carriers. Not quite going to go down that second carrier there. As we're still just going to be seeing him actually turning around. He's going to pick away at a couple more infestors. Lambo's bank has been spent. What on? Mostly just Hydras. 5 bruised and 11 infestors remaining. That does scare me. It's less tech than he had before, and that really will hurt if he's not careful. With this army of DnS still just repositioning, rebuilding. Actually isn't starting up any extra carriers just yet. We'll see if it's something he just want to go for. He's actually going to add in the High Templar, which makes a lot of sense, of course, getting ready to go into more Archons. Or maybe even just get the Storms ready again. Those Storms were huge against the infested Terrans. The first wave of infested Terrans that were dropped did absolutely nothing because of the Storms. They just got taken down. So kind of an energy for energy trade, but it's important because if you don't get rid of the infested Terrans, the game becomes much more difficult. As here we go. Well, carriers are going to fight against a couple of spores to begin with. Again, there's a lot of Archons on the ground here. Now the neural parasites come down, but the infestors are being targeted, which means the neurals wear off. And as the neurals wear off, the Archons are just fighting against kind of pure Hydra. This again, the interceptor count is kind of disappearing at the moment. Pulling back here, DnS picked off so much of the tech. It's pretty much only pure Hydra he's playing against, but he just needs a few moments to get interceptors up. If he keeps taking fights like this, I mean, you look at this, there's only a few infestors left. We were talking about, what, like 11 infestors before? Now it's 6. That's half the number. It makes each and every fight easier for DnS. Lambo's just rebuilding Hydra lists. Now he builds some infestors too. I mean, the Hydras obviously help fight too, but again, over time, Hydras become less and less effective. Some crazy stuff as there was High Templar warping in down this bottom left-hand side here. Corruptor popping out, and yes, adding some Corruptors in will go a long way as well. Just something extra to use against the carriers, as DnS isn't even making new carriers, not replacing any of this as he retakes the bottom left. Well, not retakes, he hasn't taken this base yet, but he does continue to push down this left-hand side. Taking that bottom left-hand base, mothership being chrono boosted out. I feel like DnS was very slow to take bases after these first 3. I mean, the 4th one, I guess, is starting to mine out a bit now. I guess it was kind of weird because he took this base and lost it, right? So he kind of did take a base, but he actually ended up not really mining from it. I don't know, just this base, you know, these bases feel as though they're mined out. Like the first 3 are so mined out for how mined out the 4th is. I guess the 4th is maybe further along than I feel. I don't know, definitely needs this base and this base though. Needs that economy to keep on rolling in, otherwise he's going to be all in with this one army that he has at the moment. It's important to get that up. Bruise in the sky, Hydra's pushing forwards. And the infestor count is back, but not as high as it was. And as these rocks start to go down, Lambo begins to open up opportunities to push on through. Obviously the spores setting up in a way to help him take a fight like this. 3 carriers in the production tab will be in the army in about a minute or so, but they're going to take a little while here as we're going to see those spores still moving forwards. Hydras of Lambo are Still just setting up, and again, Brood seeing what they can do. There's a Revelation coming down. That's a nice neural parasite on the Oracle. We'll just fly it in towards this army and target it down with the spores. That's not the end of the world, though. Drones are being killed. What by? A few Zealots just running by into mineral lines. And look at Lambo's economy. 38 drones. And he's got a bit of a bank, but not a massive bank. And he's actually just rebuilding more infestors. He's not going to rebuild workers here, which is very interesting. 16 more infestors on the way. I mean, that's an insane amount of energy-focused units. There's going to be so many infested Terrans, etc., that can come out against this. That could be huge. I guess we'll see. See maybe how this goes. 28 workers killed. DT swiping away here and there also. I mean, it's nice. It means that Lambo really only has this one army now. Whereas DnS just established this base. This base too is still mining. I mean, this is really nice. It means that if he can continue like this, it could go very well for him. There's some storms coming down. The Hydras especially taking a battering there. No movement from Lambo backwards with those initial Hydralisks. Lambo drops heavily in supply. You can see the Interceptors maybe trying to pull back again here for just a few moments. He's going to recall out of this one. Mothership should just get out of there in time. He doesn't recall very far, but it's just a few seconds he needs to rebuild the Interceptor count. Get ready to go again. Well, I mean, look at Lambo's army. All of the infested that were in this fight are now drained of energy. On this side of things, well, okay, the Hydras took some heavy shots, so heavy damage as well, and now this DT is swiping away at a couple. Gets the feud at half health, but doesn't actually get any kills. A few more Zealots once again, but DnS realizes he might have to send them something different if the Hydras are still in position down at that south side. Dark Ones, my man, coming in with the 2-year resub. Got some Wardy hearts in the chat, please, for Dark Ones. Thank you for the 2 years of subscribing, dude. Really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Somebody hearts in the chat, please, guys, for Dark Ones. Let's see some love in here for the guy. One of the biggest supporters we've had on the channel over the years. Very much, dude. Appreciate it. Couple probes going down. Looks as though DnS is actually just sending some workers. No, he's not sending them to the death. He's actually just transferring them to this base down here. This map is getting very split. I mean, DnS at some point might have to start pushing up towards the top. He can't really do that yet. His army's very slow to move, right? So if he was to go up in that direction, it would not really end well for him. Instead, what he probably needs to aim to do is to mine out this space and this space, and then to start expanding up top where he can defend it just from a different angle, basically. And he can really commit his units up there to defend those bases. Otherwise, he's going to get split up. Otherwise, he's going to get pulled around the map. And then he's going to find himself in a lot of trouble trying to do anything useful and be able to find a way to win this game. Probes transfer around again. Spellcrawlers repositioning. The Infestors getting a chance to rebuild their energy. Obviously, it's given the Crows a chance to do what he needs to do as well. A few Brews go down at the start of this fight, and Interceptors are still chasing to try and do a little bit more, chasing after that Broodlord. Some Fungals coming down still. And those Infestors, though, are going to start getting picked away at. I mean, there's 2, 3, 4 of them picked off. There's a couple of Neural Parasites. Storm finally on the Infested Terrans, but it took a little while. And again, we're at that sort of stage where, well, the Interceptors have to back away. The Carriers have to back away to get more Interceptors up, but he has killed a lot. Yeah, the Infested Terrans have gone down again. This time there isn't a recall, and actually maybe this time the Interceptors can just keep on fighting. The Mothership core goes down. It's going to be GG's. DnS takes game number 1. 20. Let's go in game. Game 2 of our semi-final matchup in today's GO4SC2 number 733, Abyssal Reef. And these guys may really want to play some real macro PvZ with each other. I mean, Neon Violet is one map to play macro on. Abyssal Reef is the same thing all over again. Very easy to take bases, very easy to expand. Maybe not as large as Neon, but definitely able to go into the later game on this one, just because of the ease of defending the bases, up to 5 bases and so on. To the top left hand side, our blue Protoss player from Cascade, it is DnS. And to the lower right hand side, the red Zerg player from Clash, it's Lambo. Throwing down the hatchery first here over the next couple of moments. And just getting this ready to go. By the way, guys, we're only 2 subscribers away from our next sub goal, 260. Going to be giving away another WCS Global Finals poster, I believe, as the reward for that one. Again, lots of stuff to be won in these kind of sub goal giveaways. We are continuing to move on through. And yeah, at 275 subs, we're going to be doing a 18 to 24 hour stream. So basically just a mega long stream. At 300, we're going to be giving away a really cool signed t-shirt from Home Story Cup 14. Lots of cool green signatures on, so yeah. A few giveaways along the way, such as co-op commanders, those WCS posters, etc. as well. It's fun to see. I would prefer not to on a red bauble. Let's do it. I would. It's a long name to write, actually. Oh my god, that's a very long name to write. But I did it. I managed it. Thank you so much for the 7 months, dude. We'll hang you up on the tree after this game. This might be the best writing I've done on a bauble so far. This was very neat and tidy, actually. Very neat and tidy. Proud of myself. We did it, team. We actually wrote on it without messing up. Adept coming down towards the lower right hand side here wants to have a little bit of a look to see what's going on, what it can get up to. What is the Zerg doing at this point of the game? And just use the third hatch, well that already is a very good little bit of information. Well, he once again goes Saga, and he will once again just go Phoenix first to shut down these Overlords. Yes, kill the first Overlord, and then you can put down your next set of tech without the Overlord seeing it. That's what happened in game number... in one of the previous PvZs against Denver, I guess, with DnS. He was able to deny the Overlord from seeing the Twilight Council coming down, so Resonating Glaives was hidden. And once Glaives was hidden, well, then he attacked across the map with like 11 Adepts, and Denver had like 20 Zerglings. He just tapped out about 2 moments later. And we've seen that DnS coming down behind the natural. Yeah, the sub goals command is a bit out of date. We hit a lot of goals very quick, and I keep forgetting to update it. God damn it, Wardy. I'm so useless. We're only about, you know, almost 100 subs behind on the sub goal thing. But yeah, there is, like I said, 260 is a poster giveaway, 270 is a co-op commander, 275 is the long stream. So those are our next sub goals. Coming up, as we see Twilight Council, Forge, and the Robo facility from DnS on the way. And Zerglin here is just sat up towards the upper left, and again, a couple of queens gathering themselves, just moving around the bases and so on. This Oracle moving over for DnS as well as some extra gates now coming down for the Protoss player. Warp Prism on the way up on the Robo. Charge and +1. Very standard stuff, you know. No kind of glaives, no messing around as the left finishes up from Lambo. Obviously just allows him to get that up here. You know, I'm really sick of not being able to see build times and stuff when I mouse over things. Is there some kind of option? Can this Oracle move away so I know I can go check the options or something quick? I feel like I know where it is. Like, it's in like somewhere really silly. Let's lava. I guess I can card focus status. There's something like show the Does anyone know where it is? The thing to make it so like it's like when I mouse over like the +1 upgrade, it tells me how far along it is. There's definitely a setting that does it, but I don't know where it is, and it's really triggering me that it's not on. I have it on the Korean server, but not on Europe or NA for some reason. It's really silly. A few drones went down as across the map. A little bit of Oracle damage. Now a couple probes to the Zerglings. A little bit of back and forth here between the two of them in terms of just picking off a worker here and a worker there. But other than that, I mean, all looking pretty good and standard, really. I mean, there's a couple of High Templar warping as well now for DnS. There's actually another couple probes going down. Those lings back into the mineral line. The two Adepts so far not finding themselves the defense to really shut this down here, as you're going to see. Oh, okay. These lings are eventually going to get picked off. Only two of them remain. Shouldn't be able to do anything else now. If you zealot to the left side, we actually see DnS building up this large army to the right. There's 3 Archons and a bunch of zealots as well. These zealots to the left getting caught by Zerglings right away. Maybe that opens the opportunity to push forwards with this army. Person has to be careful. It's a fair few Hydras here. And obviously the Queens as well can come into play as the zealots turn around and start charging in towards Bane lanes. That's never going to be pretty, as you're going to see the Queen will go down. No, not quite. Now DnS missing out on just some micro opportunities, and that's going to be a dead Prism if he isn't careful as well. We'll keep flying it away now, but it means that probably one of these Archons is going to go down. And you can come in and try and juggle as the Royal Prism starts to regain shields. Obviously becomes very dangerous. Now Lings and Hydra's going to try and surround, and honestly it looks as though they're probably going to make it happen. The Hydra going to be able to get the Prism if he's not careful, so he does just have to pull back, and oh, he realizes he's going to lose the Prism, so he unloads and he only gets one Archon out anyways. Heavy loss for DnS, does nothing with this attack. The Prism finally goes down. A great chase by Lambo. And look at Lambo here. Pure Lingbane Hydra here on Abyssal Reef. 50 drones. He is not looking to play the longer macro game. He's looking to attack and looking to attack right now. As we are going to be seeing, well, these Hydras picking their way through this set of rocks. Just makes the reinforcements easier to get here. And, well, Hydra speed is finished. There's no Bane speed on this, as he's going to be pushing in towards the third base. A couple more Archons getting ready to morph in. A Warp Prism will try and help micro. The important thing is keeping these Zealots back until the Banelings have been used. Well, look how many Hydras there are. Maybe just a few too many to really deal with here as those Archons. I mean, they go forward to try and tank the Banes, but the Hydras just snipe them down so quickly. Lambo is looking as though he's going to tie this series up. A couple Archons left to try and, well, just micro obviously, but the reality is it's going to be GG, and DnS very much so knows it. Lambo with the Lingbane Hydra on 50 draw. Let's wrap up the series. They removed the option, did they really? Man, I'm sure I can still do it on Korea though. Just copy the variables from an account that has it when SC2 is closed. Okay, sick. Thanks, Scarlet. Keeping me sane. Keeping me sane. Keeping me knowing. I'm sure it was there. It's really triggered me that I've not had it lately. Today was like the breaking point. I like went to check and it's like the time is still not. I'm like, God damn it! Just tell me what I want to know. You know, tell me what I want to know. Bottom right hand side, our blue Protoss player from Cascade. Give it up if you're cheering on DnS. And to the upper left hand side, our red Zerg player from Clash. It is a Lambo. 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 That was a pretty cool name. Not that you really need to say it stupidly like I just have been, but it's pretty cool. Short, simple, easy to say, easy to follow. Observe, display game tooltips and observer and replay. You know, I think that is it. I went in there as well, that's it. Oh my god, we figured it out. Thank you. You've saved my day. I knew it was somewhere. I thought it would be kind of like a weird thing to remove, right? I know they changed something that's required people to like copy and paste files recently, but it seems kind of silly. I don't know. Anyways, figured it out. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So, as we get into this one, single depths moving across the map and Stargate's on the way. DnS, another one of these Protoss who obviously loves this Stargate plays and then different follow-ups behind it. Reminds me a lot of Showtime, honestly. He was playing pretty much purely Stargate at WSG last weekend. Stargate after Stargate after Stargate. And sometimes he changed up his opening behind it slightly, but really for the first 3-4 minutes of the game, you knew what was coming. Stargate, Oracle, Phoenix, and then sometimes that's why he changed it up. Maybe he goes second Oracle one time, maybe he goes, you know, just a single Oracle one time as well. You know, he was changing it up and just playing it a little bit differently here and there, which was, yeah, just making things a little bit intriguing. As you see, those lings gonna run down and a couple of depths just gonna try and see what they can grab. I mean, a couple of lings and a drone and the shade out of there. That's always nice, because obviously you have to make the units to defend these adepts anyways, and they can get in there, pick off a couple of those units that are made to maybe make Lambo a bit more scared, but obviously as well, more importantly, it not just scares Lambo, it puts him in a position where he loses a drone as well. It's just not a great start up here, as we use the adepts. Just going to shade in towards the natural. Didn't used to be there. Yeah, that's what I thought as well. It was something different. They changed some bits and pieces, right? Anyways, we have our timers back. I can't believe it. I can see so much now. I wonder why it wasn't on. It's probably because when I was at WSG, they changed all my settings on my account to be what they wanted it to be. God damn you, WSG. You've ruined everything. I actually had to take a photo of all my settings to make sure that when I came home I could set them all back up on the European server. Because that's the worst, when you change your, like, maybe your sound settings somewhere, it's just completely different when you come back home. But it kind of saves onto your account, so it's... I hate it. Anyways, I got everything written down now, saved away. So I can reset it super easy. Have you seen the lair coming up here? DnS about to finish, plus 1 missiles as well. A bit of a different setup here from Lambo. You can see them change things up game by game, of course. Obviously, last game, that very aggressive kind of 50 drone, Lingbane Hydra, I'm gonna kill you push. Game number 1 was a bit more kind of like this, I suppose, like Lingbane Hydra, a game which got into the later stages. Let's see how he does. He just sorts up 14 drones now. The adepts are starting to come across the map, and 2 Zerglings will see this, but 15 drones in production. Well, he currently has 3 Zerglings, 4 Queens on the map in terms of units that will somewhat be able to fight back against this. Oh, Lambo, you just dead? He starts to morph in 2 Banelings. Only 2. There's a single ling on this watchtower, which is just sat there. Is going to be seeing the adepts coming in. And, well, I guess the stasis ward gaps a few drones already. Adepts will not complete that shade. Of course they will cancel. Sit over here and kill more drones for free. Yes, please. And now they're going to be able to get this queen kill as well. That spine that was trying to build goes down, and DnS seems as though he might have just caught another Zerg player off guard. It happened against Denver, and now he's starting to fight against this third hatchery. It's already half health. Banes will start coming in, but man, those adepts, they should just be able to split away from them. I mean, they'll threaten the shade again, but the third hatchery is going down. It drops, and all of a sudden DnS is... well, in a fantastic position. You get the Zerg down to 2 base, and it's really going to hurt from there. DnS looking to save us from a ZvZ Grand Final today. And as we see those attempts continue to work their way through these couple of Hydras, which are about to pop out. Would have been good to actually stick around. He actually does pull back, so you will get all 3 of them. No? A little bit of a... I guess he was just a little bit preoccupied with what he was going to do there. Only gets 1, probably going to get at least a second one, I think. I really think he should have got all, but... that's not the end of the world. As we see the Oracle comes in, throws down the Revelation. He's already done enough damage here to justify his position. I mean, he didn't even lose anything. So far, 8 drones, 11 lings, 1 Hydra, 2 Overlords, 2 Queens. You know what it cost the Protoss player? Just some APM. Didn't cost him a single unit at all so far. 1900 to 0 resources lost. Obviously, I mean, it's not impossible to do this when Lambo doesn't even try to fight the adepts, right? I mean, if Lambo had tried to fight, he probably would have killed 1, maybe 2 of them. Sure. Maybe he would have killed 5 or 6, but obviously the point is he feels that he couldn't take a good enough trade, and so he felt it was better to back away. And obviously that's the Bane drop. Oh, picks off a few adepts, a couple of sentries. I mean, that was a little bit more exciting than I thought it was going to be. Oh, that was a little something, wasn't it? But yeah, DnS, so finally losing his first unit. A couple of secondaries actually, so I thought there was some more depths, but look how many of them just went super low. 2 hit points on 4 of them. I mean, one more Bane on top, and he would have been dead. A nice way to bounce back just slightly, but it's still not expensive, it's still not super efficient. Killing 2 sentries is nice, but it doesn't just win you the game. And that's the issue right now. Lambo needs something that will win him the game. Well, I was just saying before that Bane drop came in, is you know it's never a good scenario if you're going to give up your 3rd base when your opponent's on 3 bases too. So that's obviously how badly Lambo thought that fight was going to go if he tried to take it. Just to kind of put things in perspective. Lings, Hydras. Mostly Lurkers actually. I mean, if there's a way to get back into games, Lurkers are so often it. And especially if DnS tries to attack just a little bit too soon here. Although this unit that was just up here does find out what's going on, and you just see the Lurkers. So I guess DnS will be a little bit more cautious about this and figure out properly what exactly the plan will be. Again, the Phoenix still just flying around, and it's going to be seeing a hallucination up to the top side as well, and it's going to be poking its way through the Overlord. Now I'm going to just start building up some Immortals. I mean, obviously seeing the Lurkers going to start reacting into something which is going to be a bit better against them. Do you have Charge already? We do, so you can warp in the Zealots. I mean, DnS already has the composition. He kind of wants it against Lurkers. The only thing is, I would say maybe start, I guess, trade the Adepts out. They're not going to be terrible in a fight, but you can probably do good damage with them just shading around. It just allows for more Zealots in the army, also just more tech in the army in general. And Adepts kind of in PvZ, and especially against this composition, will fall off heavily in terms of when numbers come into play. They're not quite as good as the Zealots are, as they charge on in all the time and all the rest of it. So Dev's going to shade up top, so DnS is looking to kind of go for that idea of kind of trading out a few Adepts, maybe use them as a distraction to take a good position on the map. Maybe force the army to pull back and then hit the 4th base here, which is kind of down on the low ground. Bane drop's actually going to be found here by DnS and his Phoenix. Lambo, unfortunately, still not going to find a way to deal damage. Oracle drops a Revelation on, well, about half of the Lurkers. There's not an Observer in this army, right? Oh no, there it is. Observers are so difficult to spot when they're mixed in among Starcons and all sorts. Still want to be careful though. I mean, obviously you don't just want to go walking into any sort of Lurker fire. And so Lambo has stabilized to the point where he's been able to at least max out. He's gone into Hive, and so now the Digging Claws upgrade can start as well to help those Lurkers reposition more quickly. And he's getting a Viper too. I mean, he's getting answers. He's finding himself a way to make this work, as we're going to see the Oracle will be potentially looking for this Revelation again in a moment. A couple of Lurkers initially taking some shots. Does DnS want to commit? Well, he might just want to go on top of the 4th base. Lurkers are going to burrow, and here we go. The Observer is flying forwards though, but the Overseer has flown away. He will now pull the Observer back, and as the Observer pulls back, it will not go down. Means he can still see the Lurkers, and because of that, he types out GG, good luck. DnS will be moving on into the grand finals of today's GO4SC2 number 733. He will be playing against Guru or Solov in a ZvP best of 5 final